Hello and welcome to Hunter Fuel, a supernatural rewatch podcast for adults who enjoy their show with a chaser. I'm Liz.
And I'm Lynn.
Thank you so much for joining us for season 3, episode 8, the mid season finale, A Very Supernatural Christmas. We model responsible drunkenness here. All participants are way over 21. No one is pregnant. No one will be driving, operating heavy machinery, handling weapons, or interrupting Santa while he's watching his porn. If you're playing along with us, those are the rules. If you decide not to follow them and you do something stupid, don't blame us. Lynn, what are you drinking this evening? Oh, I got you good with that one. Sometimes I just get a
Yeah.
little polite smile and I go, ah, that didn't land.
Oh my god.
I got you with that.
Holy crap, you really got me with that one. That was freaking hilarious. Okay. And I haven't even had anything to drink tonight at all.
No, no, there has been no pre-gaming, not that you could believe it from the evidence before your eyes.
Not that we need it, but
No,
wow. Okay, so I did because it is a holiday episode,
a
and
holiday
I
episode.
associate this with the holidays thanks to my grandfather in law. I did a whiskey sour.
You have a whiskey sour. All right. Well, would you like to take a guess what the theme of this week's cocktail is?
I'm going to say eggnog.
Oh, you are good at this. So, indeed, the featured cocktail for this episode is eggnog. And I have two eggnog recipes for you because the one from the official Supernatural cocktail book is 1.5 ounces of bonded bourbon, 1/2 ounce of rum, 3/4 of an ounce of cinnamon syrup, 1 ounce of heavy cream, one whole egg.
Ew.
Dry shake that, which means you shake it without ice. Then you add ice to the cocktail shaker, shake it again, strain, and serve. Now, I am not personally a fan of eggs in my cocktails, particularly when they're raw. So I found an eggless nog recipe, and this makes a batch, but it is 2 cups of sugar, 2.5 cups of whole milk, 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon each of ground allspice and ground nutmeg, and 2 cups of silver rum. Over medium low heat, dissolve the sugar in 1.5 cups of milk in a saucepan, stirring constantly. Remove from heat, allow to cool completely. Transfer to a large bowl and whisk in or wick, however you roll. Whisk in remaining cup of milk, 1 cup of cream, the vanilla and spices. Refrigerate that overnight. When you're ready to serve, whip the remaining cup of cream with an electric mixer fitted with a whisk attachment until stiff peaks form. Uh,
Ooh.
Gently fold the rum and whipped cream into the nog. Serve cold. With that, go ahead. You look like you have a comment.
That's one drink that requires a shit ton of prep.
It wasn't bad actually. It's just you just have to like gather everything. Um, Now, part of what made it easier was producer Mark helped me, but uh, it's actually not that bad. So, and it was worth it. At least I hope so. We're gonna find out when I taste it.
I was gonna say, did you cheat this week and actually try it ahead of time?
I have not. It smells like eggnog. I will say
Okay.
that. Okay, with that, producer Mark, could you bring up our supernatural game cards for us, please? Uh,
I definitely have a couple.
I have a couple. I have a couple. I don't know. Now, I don't think I have 5 in a row, but there's some good candidates here. So,
Mhm.
as always, the first one is on the house. So go ahead and give yourself that center square.
Alrighty,
Cheers. I have
cheers.
it in a plastic cup because if it's good enough for Sam and Dean, it's good enough for me. Hmm. Oh, that is good. That is good. I will say this. We Well, I have 2 stories about the eggnog. One is, my fiance's stepson came into the kitchen when I was making it, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm making eggnog." And he went, "In October?" Like, "Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it." Um, so I will say when we were done folding in the cream and the rum, it didn't look quite heavy enough, like, thick enough. So, we put it back in the mixer to, um whip it good a little bit more, and so now it is quite thick. It's almost a pudding consistency. So, I might need a spoon for my eggnog.
So it's more of a shake than an eggnog.
It's I think it's beyond a shake at this point. It's approaching pudding,
Oh my god.
but it is delicious.
Excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying excellent.
It is quite good. Um Okay, before we get this show on the road, I do want to say I was looking at the analytics and I noticed that a decent number of people who watch our podcast tend to drop off about the time, like when we get to the end of the episode. So they're not really watching all the way to the end with, the conversation that we have. So if you're good boys and girls and you stay with us all the way to the end, Auntie Liz might have a very nice holiday surprise for you. So see if you can't stick with us. So with that, oh, and again, I forgot to mention if you're playing along with us, there is a link to generate a card of your own in the link tree. So now we will get this show on the road, hitting play. And in lieu of a then, we have this extremely nostalgic special presentation stinger that played before holiday specials back in the 70s. Um, Cut to Seattle, Washington 1 year ago, and we have grandpa and a little boy who is an absolutely terrible actor. He does not deliver a great performance here, but he swears that he's been a good boy, and so grandpa says, "Well, maybe then Santa will come." Grandpa dresses up as Santa, and now the tree is all decorated,
Oh,
and I think this is pretty cute. He,
this is
like, makes sure
adorable.
this is adorable. He makes sure that the little boy's asleep, and then he shakes this, ring of bells really loudly to get the little
Yeah.
boy down the stairs, and as soon as he sees him coming, he kind of goes about putting the presents under the tree,
Oh, because
and
of course, the kids aren't supposed to see Santa, so this is kind of also killing the tradition, but minor detail.
well, apparently that's the tradition in this house that grandpa is Santa and the little boy gets to catch Santa in the act. But now there's actually some thumping on the roof and we start to get some very sparkly soot falling down out of the chimney. Santa goes to look to see what is the matter and this is where things go horribly
Oh,
wrong because this is
oh,
supernatural. And so,
yes.
um, th
Oh, it
something
grabs Santa. Oh,
drags him up the chimney, and you just hear, like, crunching and squelching, and
Oh,
a bloody boot falls out. And I'm gonna
oh,
pause here because we have our very first bespoke title card, with this exploding Christmas ornament, and then, sort of a neon, like, the very in A Very Supernatural Christmas is kind of blinking in and out. Um
very
Alright,
cool.
so one thing I'm gonna mention before we hit play is, again, back to that stinger, the special presentation. Eric Kripke was absolutely insistent that they get that, and it was a bear for them because they had to track down who had the rights to it. So, like, they needed to figure out who had written the music and get permission for that. They had for the design, everything, and he was
Oh,
very specific about the one he wanted because it was so nostalgic to him. Um, so
and the funny thing is that
Alright.
I didn't realize how old I'm aging myself. I didn't realize how old that was because I mean, I'm having to go back in the memory quite a bit, but I
Yeah.
remember when that used to come out.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Well, 'cause we were approximately Kripke's age. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that
Yeah.
was a as soon as you saw that, you were like, "Ooh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good."
Yep.
Alright, hitting play, and we've got the falling snow, and we land ourselves in Ypsilanti, Michigan in present day. And Sam and Dean are in their Fed suits, are
Oh,
talking to this woman whose husband was um, decorating the tree, and they heard a thump on the roof. And when she came downstairs, he's just gone. He's just gone. No sign of forced entry. The only people who have a key are in Florida. So Dean is clearly distracting the wife while Sam cases the joint. And as they're walking out, um, so apparently, as far as the police are concerned, there's no sign. They believe the husband's been kidnapped. And the wife is like, that doesn't make any sense. And she makes the point of saying it's 3 days before Christmas. But as the
what am I?
boys are walking, go ahead.
No, just what am I supposed to tell my daughter?
What am I supposed to tell my daughter? And it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. Sam found a human tooth in the chimney. So they're operating under the assumption that this woman is a widow and her husband got dragged up the chimney by something. We have a quirky motel room here, and if you look really closely over Dean's shoulder on the door, this is identified as the Thomas Kincaid suite. So
Mhm.
Thomas Kincaid, of course, is the artist. And Lynn, I see you've paused it. We'll get to your
Yeah.
comment in just a second. But shortly before this episode filmed, Jared had made a movie called Thomas Kincaid's Christmas Cottage, where he plays the titular character of Thomas Kincaid, which he's talked about. He had to learn to paint left-handed because Thomas Kincaid is a lefty. But if you've had a chance to see it, it's cute. It's kind of a standard Christmas. It's not really a rom-com, but it's a cute little film if you get a chance to
Oh.
see it. But this was sort of their way of busting Jared's chops. All right, go ahead, Lynn.
So, I mean, for anyone, the one thing that I will say that kind of bothers me about the way they have set this up is
Hmm.
now I'm not saying it always snows in the Midwest, but if you have ever spent any amount of time in the Midwest around Christmas, anywhere in the Midwest in general, it is normally, if it hasn't snowed, if it's not snowing, it has snowed.
Yes.
and it's damn cold.
It is freaking cold. Yes.
To me, if you were in the Midwest 3 days before Christmas, you would be wearing more than a denim jacket, is my point.
I don't disagree with you. And if you hold on to that thought, the episode actually does address it a little later. However, the first time I saw this, I remember thinking, this was probably the result of when they have to film, like when they film the
Mhm.
episode versus when it airs. You know, there's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's a gap of several weeks there. So I felt like the explanation they put into the episode, they probably had to do to explain why it was strangely warm and fall-like for an episode that's supposed to take place 3 days before Christmas. Um, so I agree with you, and and I think they saw it was a pitfall, and the episode actually does address it. Okay, are we ready to hit play?
Absolutely.
All right, moving forward here. So yes, Dean is in a leather jacket and they're hanging out in this room and they're talking about they have found other victims. And Sam is like, "Yeah, I got a theory, but it's going to sound crazy." And Dean's like, "What could you possibly have to say that would sound crazy to me?" And Sam says, "Evil Santa." Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
yeah,
that is
that's
crazy.
great, crazy.
So, and coming from, so I'm of German descent on my father's side, and so all of this, like Krampus and you know excuse me, we he says lore a couple of times here, but like all of this, the Belschnickel was all very much part of my childhood. um, and if you want to learn more about the Belschnickel, I encourage you to watch an episode of The Office called Dwight Christmas from season 9, episode 9, when Dwight puts on a traditional Pennsylvania Dutch Christmas. It's hilarious, and part of the reason it's hilarious is because it's all true. So the boys are looking for evil Santa, and they end up at this kind of derelict uh holiday themed park, theme park, and it's oh boy, this is
Oh
a
boy, that it was the most ridiculous looking Rudolph that just passed ever.
it's it's all bad. It's all bad.
Yeah.
But and Dean is like this is a low rent theme park here. And Dean is trying to convince Sam that they should have Christmas. And Sam is not really on board with this plan. Um which Dean calls him a Grinch. Um and
To
and
which he gets a
Sam
hairy eyeball from a reindeer here. I love that.
and this kind of funky looking reindeer reminds Sam of a time from his childhood. So we have a flashback. The first time we see young Dean, he's looking out the window. And so he's saying, "Dad'll be here. Don't worry about it." But he's clearly standing in the window watching for John. Um, and so this is Rich Kenipe. He has returned as young Dean. We previously saw him in something Wicked. And for the very first time, we have Colin Ford as a young Sam. He would go on to again play a young Jared Padalecki in Walker. So this is the first of 2 times he plays a younger version of the same actor. Um, there's a little oopsie here. The Hot Rod magazine that Dean is reading is from 2007, and supposedly this takes place in 1991. So Dean is 12 and Sam is 8. And what I really love about this is Sam is just asking a ton of questions. And if you remember from All Hell Breaks Loose Part 2, Dean says he always tried to stop Sam from asking so many questions so that he could hang on to his childhood just a little bit longer.
Oh,
So I
I
think
love
it's
the
kinda
look on
nice.
his face.
Yeah,
On on Sam's face there, like that far off look.
yeah, yeah, so he was clearly kind of lost in this memory, and so, we're starting to see, why is it that Sam is not a fan of Christmas?
Yeah.
Um, so according to the lure, they're looking for Santa with a limp who smells like candy so that it's attractive to children. Um, they spot this
This is
very sort of
so pathetic.
creepy bad
Oh.
Santa with a heh 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 laugh, and you can see the little boy is like, "I'm not loving this," and the mom is like, okay, we're gonna go now, thank you, bye-bye." Um, I love this
There
exchange.
is just so much wrong with this whole scene. Aside from how Dean sets his brother up right there.
It's almost this little elf is like, "Would you like me to escort your children?" And he's like, "Oh, no, we're just here to watch." It's not good. It is not good.
I love that. Oh my
Uh
god, such a bad. Oh,
So bad. It's so bad.
so
But
bad.
as Santa kind of limps off to take a break here, we see that he's kind of stooped and as he walks by with his limp, he smells like candy. And Dean says that was probably Ripple.
Ripple.
It's an
A
extremely
very.
inexpensive, very strong, very sweet wine. I
Oh
love this
my.
scene. So the Winchesters are in the Impala and they're staking out Santa in his trailer. Sam has consumed all of the caffeine, which D poor Dean. Um, and as they're sitting in the Impala, Dean starts to try to prod at this a little bit. Like, why are you the boy that hates Christmas? Um, and and Dean is like, okay, things were bumpy here and there, but this is our chance to kind of do it right. Sam's like, "No, don't
Yeah.
involve me in this. Like, if you wanna do it, knock yourself out, but I'm not on board." Um, and of
Oh,
course, Christmas alone, when you wanna
yeah.
spend it with family is less than ideal. It's not
Yeah.
what Dean is envisioning.
No.
As they watch, Bad Santa, still in his sort of grubby hat and his stained undershirt, pulls the curtains and they start to hear a woman screaming. So they run out, they've got their guns drawn, and they um, barge into this guy's trailer. And as they open the
Oh,
door, and of course, Sam is
oh.
not excited to shoot Santa on Christmas Eve. He's got the biggest bong on earth. Sure enough, he's got a bottle of alcohol and he's watching holiday theme porn. So we do have a
Oh.
porn reference. And
Oh,
they're
shit,
like, "What do
no.
we do?" And the solution is Dean starts to sing Christmas carols off key and he doesn't know any of the words. So
But Santa's buying it.
this is fine. He is clearly very
Very,
stoned or very drunk
very
or
drunk.
both.
Both. I was gonna say I would go for both. And yeah.
He's checking all the boxes here. Okay, we're
Oh.
gonna do one more scene here, and then we're going to pause and check our cards.
Oh my.
And
Oh.
once again, we have a little boy, and this kid with the little curls and his little penguin jammies is so stinking cute. And he's hearing stuff kind of drifting down from the chimney. He says, "Santa, you're early."
Oh.
And the whole time this scene is playing, I'm like, "Don't you fucking touch that little kid. Like,
No, I was thinking the same thing. I was
don't
like,
you eat that little kid. Don't do it." And um this very sort of creepy, like the leather suit, there's a lot of blood and
"Oh
whatever this
god.
is, like thumps up the stairs. He's got a big sack over his shoulder. You hear the
Oh,
parents
yes.
screaming. You hear a blow land like a punch, and then
Yeah.
the screaming stops. Santa starts dragging his sack down, and there's clearly someone in it. This was
Yeah.
actually a stunt performer who is a little person in this sack
Oh,
who literally they dragged this person down these stairs.
oh
Yeah.
god. Ow.
Um,
Oh. All you say is ouch. Ouch, ouch,
ouch.
ouch,
Oh,
ouch, ouch.
no, 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 no.
Oh
Uh,
god.
drops this right at the foot of this little boy. So this is clearly at least one of his parents. And again, this kid is doing a great job. He looks
Uh-huh.
terrified. And here I think is the scariest thing is you see the hand reach for one of the cookies off the
Oh.
plate, and it's a human hand. And you like the way they okay, we're on a black screen. I'm gonna pause here.
Oh.
It's the most disturbing crunching into a cookie sound ever. Terrible.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yuck. Ugh. Blech.
Well, yes. Okay, so we have a quirky motel room, lore, and porn. So let's see what we've got here. Oh,
I
pardon
had a
me.
quirky hotel room. I have lore.
I have lore.
Oh, don't tell me I
Uh,
don't have porn. It's
I
like,
know. I wanted porn
really? I'm
so
so
badly.
disappointed. I have no porn. I
No,
couldn't resist.
apparently we weren't naughty enough to get porn. So,
Uh,
all right, just the one.
I was gonna say, well, I had lore also, so I have two.
Oh, you have two. Good for you. I just had the one.
All
So,
right.
cheers.
Yours.
Mm,
Mm.
that is really good. I'm gonna have a little more. Mm. So this is written by Jeremy Carver, who previously wrote Sin City, which was
Mhm.
an episode we liked, and it's directed by J. Miller Tobin, who directed Born Under a Bad Sign, which is an excellent episode. Um, so we have reason to believe that we have a chance for a decent episode here. All righty.
All right. So,
Hitting play.
play.
I wanted to make sure to mention Jeremy Carver for a reason, so we'll come back to that in a bit.
Oh.
Okay, here's the wife. She's got a sizable black eye, and she's telling a similar story where they were in bed. It was, she heard somebody in the room. She was screaming. She was hit and knocked out. We don't see it on screen, so I don't think we can call it someone, an unconscious person.
No.
But as they're interviewing her, Sam notices this wreath that she's got over the fireplace. And you can see Dean is like, the fuck are you
What?
talking about? As they're coming out, um, Dean's got a joke about why don't you ask her about her nice handbags too? But Sam says, no, I saw the same wreath at the other victim's house the other day.
And I love how
Um,
Dean goes, "Oh yeah, I know. I was just testing you."
yeah, of course, he knew right away. Um, we come back to the motel room. Sam has called Bobby, and Bobby says that they're morons. So, The wreaths have meadowsweet in them, which is they say again, like I think they got paid every time they use the word lore in this episode. Thank goodness we only count one square, or I wouldn't be able to walk if we drank every time we got one. Um, Dean's carrying around his coffee, but he never drinks it because he's a jerk. You see his elbow go up, but we don't actually see him drink it, and I'm really kind of mad about it. Um, but what Sam has kind of refined the theory to is that these are probably pagan gods that they're after. They reference Holden Akar, god of the winter solstice, and here's where we get um, if you um worship this god, you get good things like a mild winter.
Ah,
Yeah, guess what he gives you in return? Lap dances, hopefully,
hopefully.
mild weather. Um, like no
Oh,
snow
like
in the
no
winter means
snow in the
most
middle of Michigan. That okay? Yep, yep.
there it is. So they realize that these wreaths are people are purchasing them, and it's essentially like hanging a neon sign out that says "Come kill me." They walk into a store where these wreaths were sold, and there's this older gentleman here who's looking at the two of them like, "What are you doing in my store? Come on." um,
I
they
love the
they
look on
and
Sam's face. Like, Jesus Christ, what are you gonna get me suckered into this time?
Yeah, Dean really enjoys taking the mickey out of Sam in this episode. I suspect he's mad that Sam won't play along with the Christmas
Yeah.
plan, and so he's like getting his digs in. Um, but they're asking this gentleman about these meadowsweet wreaths, and apparently it's difficult to come by and expensive. So he says Madge Kerrigan gave them to him for free. And so he's like, "Did you give them away for free?" "No, it's Christmas. People pay a buttload for this crap." It's like, "Oh, okay, great. That's the Christmas spirit." So he's getting from them for free, charging people a fortune for them, and then they're dying. Um,
But
Boys
apparently,
come
when you
back to
actually look at, because when I was doing my research, you're saying meadow sweep is actually not all that rare in certain areas, like North America.
right.
So it's
Yeah,
like
there's a
that
couple
particular,
other things. Go ahead, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, just that particular line is not all that accurate.
That's not Sam also says that Jesus was born in the fall, and that's also not accurate. He was born in the spring, because otherwise the shepherds would not have been out in the fields tending the flocks in the winter. Um, but we do have a dude here, and I wonder if you would call this a heartfelt broman,
Yes,
because
100%. And
um
I was hoping we'd agree on this.
yes, because Sam is like, "What is it with you and this Christmas thing?" And Dean's like, "It's my last
Last
one."
one.
And Sam's like, "Yeah, that's," and you could see his eyes are starting to get a little
Yeah.
watery here, and he's like, I can't just sit
Can't do
around drinking eggnog pretending everything's okay, when
when
it's
I
more
know.
lost. Go ahead, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So yeah, but no, I 110% agree that that's a heartfelt bromance. Wow, that turned
Moment.
into a tongue
Yay.
twister, even though that really isn't one. It just is. I love that. Don't forget your vegetables, Funyuns.
Funyuns. So Dean comes back and he says, "I was getting you dinner." Now clearly he has something for himself, but we can already see that he's really fixated on taking care of his little brother.
Mhm.
He's 12. He's a couple weeks away from his 13th birthday. He's already sleeping with a gun under his pillow. And Sam has John's journal.
Oh,
Uh, So now and he asks, "Are monsters real?"
Real.
And you can see Dean really wrestling, like, "Is this the day I ruin my little brother's childhood?" And I tell him, "Yes, monsters are real."
Well, that
Um,
he's got to be wondering, am I the one to do this?
it
Like, is this my responsibility, or how do I get out of this? Because really, this should be John saying this. I mean, I love how Dean plays it up that yes, monsters are real, dad fights them, and he's a superhero. I love how he plays that up,
Mhm. Because
but
he's trying to make his little brother feel safe so that he's not trying to sleep with a gun under his pillow like Dean does.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Dean's in a really interesting position here. And I want to come back to this at the end of the episode because we're going to see something I think extremely telling. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's Christmas and John is nowhere to be found. Dean is in a motel room with his little brother, telling Sam, "Yeah, there's no Santa, but there are vampires, and there are demons, and there are werewolves." Um, and he's trying to comfort Sam and help him to feel safe in a world that just got a shit ton scarier. Um,
Mhm.
and you can see that this really hits Sam hard. And Dean keeps insisting Dad is going to be here for Christmas, just like he always is. Um, and again, I think this
And
is a great performance from Colin Ford here.
yeah,
And he says, "I just want to go to sleep." He rolls to his side, and Sam Winchester is
Chester.
crying. So we will check our cards for that.
Yeah.
But this is again a great performance from him, and you can see how really hard Dean is taking this. Uh,
Mhm.
that he's got to be the one because John is not there.
Nowhere. Yeah, John is
So
nowhere to be
we
found like usual.
yeah. So we have a black screen. We're gonna pause on that. We have a heartfelt broment, a dude. Um,
One of the
I
boys
have in
cries.
my I'm sorry.
One of the boys cries.
One of the boys cries, and I forgot to call it out, but we did have a baby's tires squeal there also. So let's
Okay, I
see.
have that one. Uh,
Hmm.
I have all of them. Holy crap!
Oh, good for you. I think you got all the luck because I have baby's tires squeal. Yeah, that's the only one I have. So,
I think I might have to have a
congratulations on
little.
all of them.
I might have to have a little bit more of a big one on this one. Dang.
I have to kind of
Here.
like loosen my up. Mm.
Mine keeps separating, so I keep having to shake mine.
Oh, yeah, mine's the other way. It's solidifying, so I have to like try to encourage it to be a little more liquidy. Okay, hitting play. Sam and Dean go over to the Kerrigans, and this looks like a Christmas store just vomited all over everything. It is the Christmassiest of all Christmas houses you have ever seen. The lady who answers the door, Madge Kerrigan, the actor's name is Marilyn Gann, So remember I said the writer of this episode is Jeremy Carver.
Yes.
His wife wrote for a TV show called Everwood starring this actor. Uh, so
Okay.
he says he was extremely happy to see, that they had cast her because he really, liked her performance on that show. Um, so then, Spencer Garrett, who plays her
Yeah.
husband, Edward Carrigan, he comes down the stairs, and the 2 of them are just, like,
Oh,
grinning, happy, neighbors. They've got peanut brittle. Dean wants some. Once again, Sam
no.
stops him from eating. Like, "Come on, man. We've got squares to fill." I'm gonna go back to Spencer Garrett here, but I love how Dean is sharpening this steak, and the wood chips are just flying everywhere. Like, he's
Everywhere.
making no effort to get in the trash can at all. Um so, Spencer Garrett was in, 1,000 things going
I
all the
was
way back to
gonna
the
say, I
'80s.
was looking through his list, and I mean, I've seen
Everything.
some of them, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, is there anything you haven't been
No, he's been in everything, including The Magicians, for which Sarah Gamble was showrunner, and Bosch, which starred Titus Welliver, who will make a guest appearance in a later episode. We
in?
do have
So,
Pick a Lock.
luck.
Um, so we will check for that. And the boys have the most enormous steaks here. Like, come on. I love the
I
like.
say, were they trying to put down an elephant?
I know. I love the squeaking noise as they like rub their fingers on the plastic couch. So one of the things Bobby told them was that these pagan gods can be killed with an evergreen steak. So these are evergreen steaks. Gingerbread house, bigger than the house I grew up in on the dining table, cookies everywhere. Like, this is again, it's the most Christmassy house. They have gone all out. So what you can see upstairs is this beautiful Christmas bonanza. Downstairs,
Downstairs.
we haven't seen something like this since the Benders. Like,
Nope.
there's, like, bits of people everywhere
Ugh,
and,
I
like,
know. It's
blood
so
and
gross.
oh, it's
It's
so gross. There's, like, human bones, there's, like, saws and meat grinders, and, like, here's the bloody boots that we
ugh.
saw earlier. Like, this is an
I would say
abattoir. Like, this is
there's an
terrible.
eye there, like a human
Yes, like,
eye.
oh, it's awful, it's just
Yeah.
awful, and as the boys are walking around, oh, yeah, there's a
There's
femur
the
because we need that. There, Sam starts to realize that there's this sack here, hanging up, and as he goes to investigate and again, having seen horror films, like, everything in you is screaming, "Don't look in the sack, don't look in the
don't
sack,
look
Sam,
inside.
don't look in the sack."
Yeah, I know. That and everything is screaming me, be more discreet, be more discreet, be
Yeah.
more discreet as you're walking through these people's houses.
Yeah, be stealthy. Time to be stealthy, Winchesters. Yeah, the dude
Ugh.
in the sack is still alive. We have a choke,
Okay.
as Madge, picks up Sam. Dean gets
Yes.
his head smacked into a wall. He's unconscious. We'll look for that. Um, and Madge is like, "Gosh, I wish you boys hadn't come down here." And you can
Yeah,
kind of
and you can
see
see
in the
they're dead.
light that they're, not human.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna pause on this black screen here.
Oh my god. Oh, I hate that scene. Ugh. God, it's so gross.
It is super gross. We have pick a lock, choke, unconscious person, and one of the boys drops his weapon. So I have one of the boys drops his weapon.
I have. Did someone get thrown into a wall yet, or is that? Oh no, I have
Uh,
one of the boys gets
not
choked.
yet. Oh, I have a
Uh,
dude. I didn't check that earlier.
um,
Oh, and pick a lock.
I have pick a lock.
Let's take another look here.
Uh,
One of the boys drops his weapon, unconscious person, choke, pick a lock.
I don't have the other one. Okay, I have two of them.
Okay. I did not count because so both Winchesters they get knocked unconscious with like somebody grabs them and like smashes their head into a wall. That's how they get knocked out. I did not count that as someone getting conked on the head. Um, as it I am prepared to have my mind changed about that. Typically, we call it somebody getting conked on the head if like an object comes towards
Yeah, I was
them,
gonna
not
say they didn't get conked on the head.
no,
They
their
got.
heads conked something else.
I was gonna say, you'd have to talk
Stop
me
hitting
into
my
that
hand with
one.
your face.
Yeah, no, like because no one actually conked them on the
Right.
head. So yeah, no.
Okay. So that's
All
what
right.
we have for right now. So cheers.
Cheers.
Mm, that went right down my cleavage. It's really uncomfortable. I didn't play. So we are still at the Kerrigans, and now they've got all the front, all the lights in the front lawn lit. Sam and Dean are both tied up, so we will, next time we pause, we will look for
Yeah.
that. Um, and uh, they're like, guess we're dealing with Mr. and Mrs. God. So they know they're dealing with pagan gods. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. The two of them walk in with the most
Oh my god, these
ridiculous.
are the ridiculous sweaters I have. Oh god, I hate ugly Christmas sweaters. I've never understood the point.
And they don't think that they're ugly, and, like, Madge has, like, a little flashing
I was
light on hers,
oh
they've got aprons.
oh god, so bad.
They're
Oh,
yeah, they are
oh look at
enjoying
Dean's
this,
face. Like, what the
and
fuck?
I was she puts little napkins in their laps before they sacrifice them. Oh, it's so cute, but what they're arguing is that like, "Oh, we used to take hundreds of tributes a year, but we've assimilated," you know? Like, we follow the old rituals, but we're only taking maybe, 2 or 3 or 5 this year people a year. That's not so bad. And she puts these meadowsweet wreaths around their necks, and she says, "Oh, don't they just look darling?" And this great performance where he
Oh,
says, "They look good enough to eat." I don't even
oh,
it's great. Um,
oh god.
so we've got a Sammy, uh, he
Oh,
cuts Sam, and you can hear we've got a, son of a bitch from Dean, like, cause Dean they're tied up back to back, so Dean has to sit there and listen to them torture his brother, and there's nothing he can do about it, so he's in a right state, um
oh.
and meanwhile, they're kind of going along and they're saying, we've kept a low profile. We've got a mortgage. We play bridge twice a week. We're just like everybody else. And she's got this giant knife, like
Oh, oh,
gleefully cutting Dean. It's not a good cut job.
no,
I don't you can, like, see it smearing. They
no.
really should have done another take on that one.
Yeah, especially
And
since, like, there's no blood on the knife.
it's not a good, take. They should have gotten another one. And Dean's like, "If you fudge and touch me again, I'll fudge and kill you." Um And yeah, this is
Oh,
the one I was talking about.
oh
It's
yeah, and
awful.
it clearly doesn't cut him.
No, it's just not good. So,
No.
meanwhile, this is
Oh,
awful. They pull
awful.
out one
Oh,
of
I
Sam's
ow, ow,
fingernails
ow,
and
ow, and they show
they
that.
do.
Oh,
And like the special effects are good. It's pretty gross.
yeah,
They
it's
pull
it's
that
really
fingernail off.
gross. It's really,
So
really
they have
gross.
blood from both of them. They have a fingernail from Sam, and they're like, "Oh, what are we missing? Let's see, fingernail, blood, sweet Peter on a popsicle stick. I forgot the tooth. It's a giant pair of pliers." He heads over to Dean,
Oh.
and he we see him like he's got that pair of pliers right in Jensen's mouth just as the doorbell rings, and you hear, "How are you gonna get that?"
Oh, that.
That
Oh, Lord,
so
and
like the
I love
scene is
Dean.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Dean's like, "Oh, thank the Lord."
I mean, this is one of those things that I think Supernatural does really well is mix the comedy and the horror together. Like the two of them are tied to chairs. They're being tortured. They're about to be eaten and it's hilarious.
Now, would we
Uh,
arguably say this is a torture?
let's come back to that.
Okay.
Let's put a pin on that for the moment. So they went to answer the door. It's a neighbor with a fruitcake. They come back. Sam and Dean have gotten loose and they lock Madge and Edward in the kitchen. They run out into the living room, and Dean is like, "What do we do? The evergreen stakes are in the basement." And he's like, "Well, we need more evergreen." A big pretty photo, shot of the Christmas tree. So they shove a big piece of furniture in front of the doors and they knock over the Christmas tree, which is it's beautiful. They smash everything and they start tearing evergreen boughs off of this tree to make stakes. Um,
Yeah.
and the tree's all decorated, so there were still Christmas ornaments on the stakes. Uh, Madge and Edward managed to get loose, and so they attack Sam and Dean. Madge is like beating the piss out of Sam. Edward is really knocking Dean around, and Sam just gets up and he jams this Christmas tree branch right into Madge. And I think this is a well done scene,
Yeah.
and Dean manages and he stabs him not once, but twice. It's like he wants to make
Yeah.
sure he does a good job. Stabs we don't get any gratuitous blood spatters,
No.
unfortunately, but, so both Madge and Ed are dead, and they've got these evergreen branches sticking out of their chests. Sam says, "Merry Christmas." They're bleeding, and it comes to and here's this branch with a Christmas ornament sticking out of it.
But now my question would
Okay,
be
once
is
again,
they're dead, they're bleeding, but in the scene before that, they were shown as basically dead and not human. Like usually when they stake them, they transform, for lack of a better word, back to their original selves. And I keep
so they s
expecting that to happen in that scene.
okay. Yeah, and so we get those little flashes that show us that they're not human, that this guise that they have as the Kerrigans is um some kind of like glamour or illusion that's not actually what they look like. So yeah, I see your point that like when they die, if it's some kind of magic making them look like that, it should sort of without their life force,
Yeah.
perpetuating the illusion, they should go back. My suspicion is that it was and this is the thing that, like, all monsters look human in the supernatural universe because that's what they could afford. So, Um, all right, let's see here. So we have the boys are tied up, Sammy and son of a bitch. Let's see if we have any of
I
those.
I
Um,
have a the boys get tied up, which gives me four in a row.
oh, good for you. Oh, you know, did anybody get thrown against the wall during that fight?
Why did I keep thinking? Well, sort Sam sort of does. Well, he
Yeah, he gets
gets.
like tossed to the floor. Um, I don't have any of them.
I would say in my I could have sworn in that episode somewhere someone got thrown against a wall, but I could have been wrong.
I have one
Uh,
of the boys gets tied up. I have that one.
I have that one. Uh,
I think it would be a stretch, but if it would be ever so slightly cheating, but
yeah,
I would not argue with you if you wanted to do someone gets thrown against a wall.
you, I'm not that passionate about that one.
Okay. We'll let
Did
that
we
one.
did we have an unconscious person?
Yes.
Okay, that one I forgot to get.
Okay. Yeah, get that one for yourself. Um, okay. Back to the question of torture.
Now keep in
For
mind,
me,
I don't have it. You just
oh,
kept using the phrase.
I
So,
don't have it either. So this is something of an academic discussion. For me to call something torture, I want to see physical suffering for some kind of purpose that the person inflicting harm is after something, that they want information, that they have that they're a sadist and they derive some kind of enjoyment out of inflicting harm. And in this particular case, although you are correct, I kept using the word.
I was
Um,
gonna say, see, to me, that both those boxes for me are checked off.
and and again, neither one of us have the box, but I don't I don't personally see enjoyment there. Like, this is a ritual that must be observed. They require blood. You have to cut somebody to get blood, so they're cutting them. It's not like, "Ooh, I'm gonna carve you up and you're gonna squeal." Like,
No, they
um
just seem to be enjoying it way too much.
So, again, neither of us have it. So if
Yeah,
you're playing along with us, you decide for yourself. If you have torture and you really want to give yourself that square, we
go
can't
for
stop
it.
you. We're all the way over
Nope.
here. Um,
Then give
okay.
us your opinion. Like,
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Is that torture or not?
yeah,
All right, last couple minutes here. We're going to hit play. It is snowing outside, and we see young Sam. So we realize we are back in 1991. Dean turns the light on. He shakes Sam awake, and he's like, "Dad was here. Look what he brought." And there's, sort of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's got some lights on it. And you could see like Dean is lying through his teeth and
oh yeah,
he's, Sam is asking all the questions Dean sort of
yeah.
doesn't have answers to. And he's like, come on, dive in. So the story he's told Sam is that dad was there, he left presents, and then he had to leave again. Uh Sam is he tears the first package open and it's a sapphire Barbie.
Barbie. I love
Um,
it. Dad probably thinks
and
you're a girl. I love it.
Present number 2 is a baton with, like, sparkly streamers on the end, and immediately Sam's like, "Dad wasn't here. Like, where'd you get this stuff?" And Dean finally admits that he broke into one of the nice houses down the block. He's like, "I swear I didn't know they were chick presents." Um, and I love this scene here so much because Dean is like, "I'm sure dad would be here if he could," and it's like, "If he's alive." And Dean is just not prepared to admit anything could have happened to
Nope.
John. Sam gets the present Uncle Bobby gave him to give to his father, and he gives it to Dean. So
Oh, look at the
we can
look on
see,
Dean's face. Like,
yeah,
he
this
is
was for
torn.
dad. Eh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He is so torn. Like, he
So
was
torn.
biting his lip,
Yeah.
everything.
And he opens it up and it's Dean's amulet
Yeah.
that he wears virtually every day. There's a couple of rare occasions he takes it off, but um,
Oh,
he puts it on and there's Dean.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Cut to Sam. Here comes
And
Dean, and it starts right with that close up of the amulet around Sam's, or sorry, Dean's neck. He comes in, and Sam has gotten a Christmas tree. He's decorated it with pine tree air fresheners and fishing bobbers. And he's got eggnog in a plastic cup. Hands it to Dean. He's like, "Here, try the eggnog."
oh, I
So
love
I'm gonna.
this.
So the funny part is Sam actually spiked not Sam, I'm sorry, Jared actually spiked the eggnog and didn't tell Jensen. So that's Jensen's real reaction to a lot of rum in the eggnog. Um, Dean
oh, I
has a
love.
couple presents for Sam, and, it's Um, he got them from the gas mart down the street. I love you could see the bandages on both of their arms where, the Kerrigans cut them. Once again, Sam has wrapped his presents in the Sunday comics. We have more porn. We have
Lord.
Frolic and Backside, couple of skin mags, and some
Yeah.
shaving cream
Now,
for
though, if you
Sam.
think about it, on Sam, the bandage is on the wrong arm. He was cut on the other arm.
I think they both have both arms. We've got an
The
awesome let's take a look here and see if we can get a better look. No,
no,
yeah, is that just
no,
his awful shirt?
that's it. That's just his awful shirt, I think.
That's it. We'll see if we can get a better look at it here. But yeah, so they're at the very beginning, Sam said, "What are we supposed to drink eggnog and pretend everything's okay?" And that's exactly what they're doing. That they're drinking eggnog.
Eggnog.
Sam starts to say, "Hey, Dean," and Dean just kind of waits and he finally just says, "Do you wanna watch the game?" Like
Aw.
like, this is yeah, because
Yeah,
we're gonna pretend everything's okay. Like, we're just it's Christmas, we're not gonna have this conversation. You
because
are
yeah, see,
correct,
yep.
you are correct, that is just his awful shirt. It's and then we've got so this is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," sung by Rosemary Clooney, who is George Clooney's mother. And very prominently, we hear the line, "We'll just have to muddle through somehow." Um,
Oh.
I love this last shot of the boys through the window and then, the camera's pulling back and there's the snow falling on baby with the Christmas lights reflected in her paint. And it's
Oh.
a very sweet little supernatural Winchester Christmas. And that is our
Alright,
episode.
Oh,
And we have an awesome and Dean drinks.
yes.
Finally, all the opportunities for him to
Finally.
eat or drink something, he finally actually does. And
And
of
I don't even
course,
think I have it.
I do. There it is. There it
Yeah,
is. Do
and
I
I
have an
realized
awesome?
I poured myself a drink for the last one and forgot to drink it.
Well, catch up,
I
you slacker.
know.
Um, I'm just double checking here, and I do not have an awesome, which makes me a little
Uh,
sad. But wait,
nope,
let me
neither
stir it
do.
here.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
trying to get mine to stop.
okay,
Cheers.
cheers.
Now, if they just made a crack about Sam's hair, I would have had five in a row.
Mm, yeah, I'm not quite that close. Yeah, I have the most I have is 3.
Yeah. I've
So you
got
have 4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. So you have 4 in a row, total of 10, which I think is going to make you the least loser because I have I have 3 and oh, there was a lot of rum in that eggnog too. 3, 5, 6, 8.
Especially when you added some extra.
I d I did add a little extra rum to try to thin it out a little bit. That might have been a mistake. So, okay, one thing you loved and one thing you hated. I'm gonna keep drinking my eggnog.
um, so one thing I loved the scene with the necklace. That was
Yes.
I mean, there are a couple of things. I mean, I try each week to come up with something different to
Mm,
say about versus saying the same old thing over and over and
I
over and over
understand.
again. So, do I like it? Yes, when they explain the boy's backstory. Yes. I mean, that is one thing, but I've commented on that before. I think the scene with the necklace is so telling.
Yeah,
I just that stood out to me big time.
yeah. So, before you go on to one thing you hated, so, the thing that's really interesting about that is it really those scenes really do make the episode, I think, something
Mhm.
extra special. And they were originally not in the script, that the script came in light, and they needed something to add page count that would, contribute something to the story and not just make it bloated. And Ben Edlund was the one that said, "What about flashbacks to the boys at Christmas?" So, originally, they weren't there, and as I am fond of saying, Ben Edlund is a genius.
Mhm.
Um, and that little just that little tweak just,
Yep.
like, makes the episode. I agree with you. It's the flashbacks and in particular, the way that J. Miller Tobin, filmed it with, like,
Yes.
he hands Sam hands that package across, and it's, like, right in the frame and, like, very clear in focus while Sam is a little blurry in the background, and,
Yeah.
it's really well done. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
Well, that knit shows the significance of that necklace that he's been wearing this whole time. It's like now that
Yeah.
necklace takes on a
Yes.
whole new meaning.
Yep.
Whole new meaning.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so that's one. I will admit this is not my favorite episode. I mean,
Really?
I like the comedy. I genuinely do. I like the intermixture and all of that. To me, this one feels like a filler.
No, that's so interesting because I love this one. I think it's one of the strongest of the season.
There's just something about it that just feels weak. And I can't even put my finger on like one
Mm.
tiny little thing. It's just aspects of it that feel weak to me.
So I know that you are, I don't know if this has anything to do with it or not, but I know that you are not really a fan of the horror genre. And this one leans kind of hard into some of those um things that are like characteristically horror.
That didn't even bother me though. Like that honestly wasn't the part that bothered me. It just there
Hmm,
was something a vibe about it that I just found
okay.
hokey.
All right. You're entitled. Obviously my opinion is different, but
Yeah.
it's not the first time that's been the case, and it won't be the last. For me, the thing I loved was that last shot of the tree branch sticking out of Madge's chest with the Christmas ornament still hanging on it. I thought that was absolute genius. And again, I loved the episode as a whole. So I just thought that was just one little piece of genius that didn't have to be there. Um, and I've already mentioned this, but I can't get past that terrible cut that Match does
Yeah.
to his arm. It's like, come on, man. Like if you can't get a second take, like you do your visual effects in-house, call Ivan Hayden and say, "Dude, we messed up. Can you fix this?" Like, there had to been something better they could have done there. Um, okay. Well, we did promise that if you were good and you stuck with us to the end, we would have a special treat for you. And what I have is uh based on the Clement Seymour, A Visit from St. Nicholas, we have "'Twas the Night Before Christmas in a Motel We Know." Found it. The author is, goes by, EMOM, Emom, and it's a fun little piece of poetry all the way back in 2014, and it is, "'Twas the night before Christmas, in a motel we know, not a creature was stirring, just the neighborhood hoe. Our stockings were hung by the mini fridge with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Us children were nestled all snug in our beds, while visions of burgers and beer danced in our heads. With him in his plaid, and I in my jeans, we just settled our brains from bad hooch bought by Dean. When out in the parking lot there arose such a clatter, we sprang from our beds, armed, to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the cheap curtains, and yanked up the broken sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature truck and 8 empty beers, with that boisterous drunk driver, not lively nor quick. I knew in a moment it was Bobby, not Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his curses did fly, and he whistled and shouted, yelling something about pie. Now Dean, now Sidney, now Rufus and Ellen, on Charlie, on Ruby, on Joe, Becky, and Jody, from the top of the motel to the top of the bar, dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry heaves before the morning hours do fly, when we meet with an obstacle, we shook our heads and sighed. So down to the lot in darkness we flew to find his truck full of salt and a new shotgun, too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the stair the prancing and calling of Castiel's glare. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the rickety stairs he came with a bound. He was dressed in red and white from his head to his feet, and his outfit was all perfect, spotless, and neat. A bundle of gifts was flung on his back, and he looked so confused just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, his little angel mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the teeth in his mouth were as white as the snow. The candy cane in his mouth he held tight with his teeth, and the smoke from the truck engine encircled him like a wreath. With a furrowed brow on his face and an uncertain gaze, we knew there was no bowl full of jelly coming today. He was bewildered, perplexed, a right puzzled old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A glare of his eye and a snap of his fingers soon gave me to know he had learned a new finger. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and popped us back in our room just as Dean called me a jerk. And laying his bag down to the side, he began to fill our stockings and gifts with great pride. He sprung to his feet and picked up the empty sack, and with a sly smile he winked before fading to black. But I heard him exclaim as he disappeared from sight, "Merry Christmas, my Winchesters. I hope I did it right." So again, thank you very much to author Emom for that little story. And that is
His
Last
last
Call.
call.
Mm. Oh, there's a lot of rum in that one. Thanks for coming along with us for the ride. If you like what we're doing here, be sure to tell your friends. Please also like our videos and subscribe so it's easier for other people to find us too.
And if you want Liz and I to do some more bonus features, which Lord knows we love to do, please give us some topics through socials, email, however, so that we have something to put in Ask Jared. And Lord knows, you think we're unscripted here. We're a lot more unscripted and on Ask Jared, and we've usually
Indeed.
had more to drink. So God
Also
knows
true.
what's gonna come. God knows what's gonna come out of our mouth. So
Also very true. So we love hearing from our SBN family. Comment, send us an email at hunterfuelpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at hunterfuelpodcast. In our next episode, we'll be discussing season 3, episode 9, Malleus Maleficarum, when Sam and Dean crash a book club. Until then, be safe, everybody. Bye
bye
bye.
bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for season 3, episode 8, the mid season finale. I am screwing this up really badly, and I've not had a single chance.
I know that neither of the boys, Jensen or Jared, are 19, but I swear that boys that age just have no nerve endings from the waist down, because my son will not put on a pair of pants until it becomes like 30 degrees out.
Oh my. Oh, it's everywhere. Oh, and it's sticky. It is a little sticky once it starts to dry.
Well, I mean, when you put all those ingredients together and then it dries, yes, sugar, all of that, it's going to be sticky.
Yes.
Yes.
Other things can be sticky too when they
Oh
start to
yes.
dry.
Oh. Several other things can be sticky as well. All right,
Alright.
I need another shot. Thanks to that.